Baseball night in America brings us to beautiful Seattle, Washington, to one of the most pivotal series in the final weekend of the regular season on the final day of September. It is a division that is going down to the final minutes. The Seattle Mariners playing host to the first place Texas Rangers. A capacity crowd over 45,000 expected inside T-Mobile Park. And what has been a series that has favored the Mariners so far. The Rangers this year had won 8 of the first 9 against Seattle. They needed one win dating back to Thursday night to clinch their ticket for the postseason. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. J.P. Crawford, the game-winning walk-off 2-run double. And the Mariners win it 3-2. What has so far been the series of J.P. Crawford? Last night, the Mariners with an early 4-0 lead. And then the dagger by the Mariners shortstop. A grand slam to right field. It made it 8-0. That's how it finished as Mariners pitching shut down one of the game's most potent lineups. The division race is incredible. Right now, once again, a win for the Rangers, and they've punched their ticket to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. If the Astros win out, they're into the playoffs. The Mariners today facing a potential must-win. Meanwhile, the Rays winning in extra innings just moments ago in Toronto against the Blue Jays. If the Rangers win today, the Blue Jays can arrest Gausman tomorrow, and they are a wild card team. Man, it's a lot to keep up with. Aaron Goldsmith alongside the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. John, this is what you play for.
It's a long season to get here. Only one team controls their destiny, but everybody has a chance. And you leave spring training with a chance. Seattle's been here, done that. It's been an exciting. I wish I was out there pitching. That's how exciting it is.
Well, for the Mariners, they're going to need some help. They need a loss by the Astros. But the good thing for Scott Servais and the Mariners, they have their guy up on the mound, the guy they call La Piedra, the Rock. An all-star starting pitcher for the Mariners. He's been especially good here in his home ballpark.
He's electric. He's got an unbelievable fastball. You see the numbers at home. He's feeling comfortable. And if you want to extend your season, this right arm feels good for the Seattle Mariners. Expect a lot of high fastballs, a lot of swings and misses, and he's going up against an unbelievable offense.
He's faced the Rangers twice this year. It's been a long time since he faced Texas. The Rangers won both of those games. And this Rangers lineup, John, it is truly one of the game's elites.
It's unbelievable when you think about their team numbers. I mean, it's really rare that you see all of these numbers categorically in the first slot, ranking first, and it really makes it go with these 3 guys, Seager, Garcia, and Semien. For the Rangers, they've been shut down by the Seattle Mariners, but look at what Seattle has to do these last 2 games. If they sweep them, truly impressive.
It is the perfect blend of power on base, of contact for this Rangers lineup. We're going to try to keep John in the booth. When we come back, it's the Mariners and the Texas Rangers. What a matchup here today from Seattle. It's all coming up on Fox. Beautiful fall day here in Seattle. Temperatures in the low 60s. Just a bit of a breeze. Already on their feet, it is playoff baseball here in Seattle. It has been a wild west this year. The Rangers got off to such a phenomenal start. The Mariners were 10 back. The Astros were 5 back. Then at the beginning of August, both teams closing. And how about on August 27th, the Mariners taking the top spot. They had faded just slightly since. The Rangers, meanwhile, on the final day of the month, have climbed to the top as we go down to the field to Ken. Ken, it's been a lot to keep up with.
Aaron, I don't know how to explain any of this. The Mariners were on a 20-4 roll in August, then lost 17 of the next 27. The Rangers, they led this division by 6.5 games in late June, swept the Mariners at home last weekend, and yet here they are for the 3rd straight day trying to clinch a postseason berth. And finally, the Astros. They crushed the Rangers in Arlington in early September, and then they go 2-7 against the Royals and A's, the 2 worst teams in the majors. Guys, who knows what the final chapter will bring.
Now we are down to the final 48 hours. Thank you, Ken. Luis Castillo up on the mound. And Marcus Semien inside the batter's box for the Texas Rangers. Castillo, the Mariners' opening day starter. Popped up. And a good beginning for the Mariners. France is right there. And a routine out number 1. Well, this is, as we said, The best lineup in the American League, one of the best in all of baseball. Corey Seager, you have to be mindful of him. He has really hit Mariners pitching. This is the interesting move today, John. Robbie Grossman DHing and batting third. Normally we would see Mitch Garver DH in this lineup for the Rangers, but Bruce Bochy mixing it up a little bit. Grossman getting his first start in this series as the fastball misses outside for ball one.
Well, the Rangers are going to try to create stress for the Mariners because they're the one that have leverage. But if you get that first pitch out as a starter in this game, oh, is that a good feeling? Because it is a playoff atmosphere. The crowd's going to be into every pitch. They know what it means. That man, Bruce Bochy's been through this, done it, I mean, a million times with the San Francisco Giants. Asked him how his heartbeat was doing. Are you used to these kind of scenarios? And he goes, I guess I am, but he'd like to have this thing locked up. And he thought he had it locked up the first game of the series.
Well, he absolutely did. They were 3 outs away. They were 2 strikes away at one point. 3 balls and a strike to Corey Seager. His next home run will mark a new career high. He's hit 33 this year. He's driven in close to 100. MVP candidate for the Rangers. And Castillo gets him to swing right over the top of one of his trademark pitches, the changeup.
Yeah, you just wonder what Seager could do if he's played a full year back to back. It's been kind of tough.
He chases off the plate, a fastball at 98 miles an hour.
Well, that's what you're going to see a lot of tonight. If Luis Castillo is on his game, it's high velocity, it's up in the zone, and it's a lot of swing and miss with fastballs. He has one of the best swing and miss fastballs up in the zone in all of baseball, and he mixes it up. We've seen some of those pitches already, but he's going to come after you with that 4-seam fastball, slider, sinker, and that changeup.
He blows a fastball right past Robbie Grossman. Now, Bochy's saying he went with Grossman for a couple of reasons. One, he does have 10 career plate appearances against Castillo with some success. Garver has never faced him. Garver beginning this game on the bench. And Castillo has just throttled right-handed hitters this year.
Well, if he gets that call right there, you can forget it. That's a tough pitch to hit.
His 0-2. A little too far outside.
He has that unique release point, and it's almost like an upshoot fastball at 98. Tough for the hitter to pick it up.
Rangers expanding a little bit early off of Castillo. He has been one of the great swing and miss pitchers in the game this year. His second career 200 strikeout season. Of course, all that to say with Grossman in the lineup for Garver, he has not hit righties as well as he has lefties. So an interesting move. We'll see how it plays off for Texas. Line foul.
Well, we mentioned how good Texas offense is, but it can go in peaks and valleys, and they can score a ton. And in these first 2 games, I think only 3 hits they've gotten, and that's going to have to change if they want to win this division.
Well, this is into center field, and Grossman right away connects with a 2-out base hit. Move looks good so far. Keeps the inning alive for the Rangers and brings up Adolis Garcia.
Well, I believe he hits a changeup. You see that pitch just right there. Just stayed a little flat into the zone, and after 98, that's welcoming for Grossman. He keeps his hands back and gets a base hit. And as I mentioned, they want to win this division. In a playoff game, it is absolutely
this is into center field, and Grossman right away connects.
Stressful situation when you get the leadoff hitter on, but when you get them all in 2 outs, you can get a lot of things done because the crowd is amped up and they understand what it means.
You sound good today, John.
Was that
in stereo?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's what we've all dreamed of.
Was that live?
We are live. Here's the 0-1 to Garcia. Pins him up with a fastball. It's 0-2. Garcia, a home run shy of his 40th. He's been one of the game's great run producers this year. He, of course, is vulnerable with the swing and miss, however, especially up in the zone.
Yeah, this would be a high fastball, almost guaranteed.
0-2. He got him upstairs at 97. Couple of punch outs for Luis Castillo in a scoreless first. First inning, the Rangers and the Mariners from T-Mobile Park. Here's what it looks like for Scott Servais and his Mariners starting lineup. J.P. Crawford has had a career season. 19 home runs, his latest a grand slam last night. Julio Rodriguez and then Eugenio Suarez some thump at the top of the order. Meanwhile, Ty France has seen his power stroke return a little bit. 2 home runs his last 4 games. The All-Star last year, first baseman batting 7th.
As you mentioned, that this guy's been unbelievable for the Mariners, not only the last 3 days, but steady Eddie at the box. And it's a tough matchup for him, even though he controls the strike zone, takes pride in his walks.
Fastball to the top of the zone from Andrew Heaney for strike 1. 6 leadoff home runs this year for J.P. Crawford. That is tied a club record. A record held by Ichiro and Julio Rodriguez, who did it last year as a rookie. Now, it was supposed to be John Gray getting the start today for the Rangers. But Gray lands on the injured list. That was announced yesterday. Second most innings in the rotation for the Rangers on the shelf.
Well, the Rangers really have gone through, like, well, all of baseball has, for the most part. The rotation has been decimated by injuries. They've had to find ways to get to the finish line, and why it's so important for Texas to win the division would be because of that, to get rest and not play every asset that they have to get to the end and rest some people tomorrow, but they don't have that luxury right now, losing the first 2 games.
Well, Heaney spent time in the rotation to begin the year. Kind of ran out of innings after having a shortened season last year because of shoulder issues. Now in the bullpen. This is out to the gap in right center field, and it drops in for a base hit. J.P. Crawford aboard right away for the Mariners in front of Julio Rodriguez.
You know, we talk about momentum a lot in other sports, baseball, and certainly carrying it over from night to night. You never know if it's going to play, but that first game and then the second game, and you feel like the crowd knows what Seattle has to do. Momentum, if there is such a thing, is definitely on Seattle's side.
Julio Rodriguez, an all-star once again this year. Now 22 years old. A lot of teams have been pitching him in recently. And it's been a remarkable sophomore year for Julio Rodriguez, second in the league in hits. Marcus Semien on the other side has more. Third in runs, third in RBIs as well. It is one of the game's great power speed combinations. Truly one of the most electric players, regardless of age, in baseball right now.
Him and Acuna kind of they could be mirror images of themselves and what they can do and how they can impact their offense, defense, and certainly with his legs on the base pass.
He's got a chance for a Gold Glove this year. Crawford at first. This is popped up and gets out of play, foul back behind home. 2-1.
Well, much like Castillo, but unlike Castillo, the velocity difference of pitching up is going to be quite different for Heaney. He likes to throw the ball up. He likes to throw it in. And there's what he's going to rely on. A high percentage of fastballs, throws across his body, the slider changeup mix, but he will try to attack with you on pitches in and pitches up in the zone with his fastball.
Breaking ball on the edge. 2-2 to Rodriguez. Well, the Mariners offense this year has been so up and down. It's been a roller coaster ride. But in so many ways this offense goes as Julio Rodriguez goes. 8 home runs this month for the 22-year-old. Pitching him in again, missing. It's a full count. So second straight full count to Heaney. When you think about how many pitches he can go today, John, he was moved into the bullpen near the beginning of the month.
Yeah, I mean, every first inning in a big game is, I say you pitch your first inning like the ninth in big games, unlike a regular season game.
Inside outs this, a towering fly ball out to Adolis Garcia. Comes right to the right fielder for out number 1.
Well, the Mariners, as you mentioned, in their offense, obviously if you would just give them 3 runs a game for the entire season, I would think their record is going to be pretty good based on their pitching. But that's not, you never know from start to start what the offense is going to be able to do. Second half much better. But here's the key. They cut down their strikeouts, they're going to win. They can get strikeout happy. They can miss the barrel of the bat. And that's really when their offense goes south. They need to hit doubles and homers. They want to slug, obviously, but strikeouts come with it.
1 out, 1 on for Suarez. Goes after the first pitch. Garcia gives this a look, but it's into the crowd. Strike 1.
This matchup has 5 strikeouts out of 6 at bats against Heaney. So here's a guy that definitely can swing and miss, but you rely on his power and defense at third base.
Crawford a leadoff single at first base. One and one. Bruce Bochy saying to us earlier today he would be, quote, elated if Heaney could give him 5 innings. And I think whatever is above elated is what Bochy would be. 5 innings seems like a tough task for Heaney when you look at the pitch count since moving to the bullpen. The most he has thrown since about the second week of the month is 63 pitches. That got him into the 4th. And this is the league's worst bullpen. It has had more problems, more blown saves than any other in the American League. And for a team that has invested so heavily, both in the trade market and the free agent market, in their starting rotation, to come down to the final 2 games of the season and have to throw back-to-back bullpen games, that's tough.
That is tough. And I tell you what, I don't know if they have a team psychologist, but they could have used them this year with some of. I mean, they've been dealt body blows. A lot of teams do, and the Mariners can say that too. They've had their share of bad losses, but Bruce Bochy has been such an incredible manager in this game that you couldn't ask for a better situation of a manager leading his team, given everything you just said.
Garcia busy here in the first inning, cutting across to his left. Another fly ball out to right, 2 outs.
So if you're going to pitch a game like this, now it's different for Heaney than it is for Castillo. And I said you never want to give your manager a reason to go to the bullpen early, but both managers are going to be on alert. They got to play this like a game 7. Even though that Texas has the lead, they don't have the leash of, you would think, of saying, oh, we'll get them tomorrow. I mean, that's going to happen if they lose, but Seattle has no choice. They have to win these 2 games. And so each manager is dealt with kind of some tough situations that they'll read and watch how they handle that bullpen. You would be more patient in a regular season game with guys. You're not going to be as patient in these games, and that's why if you're going to make your mark as a starter, you've got to establish yourself early to say, I'm in this for the long haul.
2 outs, a man aboard for the catcher, Cal Raleigh, batting cleanup, switch hitter.
So much at stake for both sides. The Rangers can clinch a playoff berth with the win. It would be their first since 2016. Meanwhile, the Mariners, this is a potential elimination game if they lose. And the Astros, who throw Verlander today, if they win, the Mariners are eliminated. Swinging through a high heater, 1-2. Now the Mariners have won the first 2 games of this 4-game series, but even if the Mariners win out, even if they win today and tomorrow, if the Astros win out, the Mariners have no defense for that. They are eliminated.
Yeah, we were going over them. It seems like a million scenarios to play out. The Rangers' magic number is 1 in any combination of Toronto and Houston and, of course, Seattle. So they know they win. They're in.
The 1-2.
Seattle cannot claim that yet. And so you need a little bit of help. At least it's only a little bit of help. Like, it would be worse if you needed both of those teams to lose 2 games. But I thought it was real interesting in a 3-way tie for the division. That's how Seattle can win the division.
The Mariners have a path to winning the West. There's no question.
But I'm blown away by following. We look from afar and you go, about 3 weeks ago, the Rangers looked done. They had some bad losses. They were going into Toronto. They swept Toronto. And then even of late, they faced the Mariners and took care of business. And they're trying to do that here in the last 2 games.
Rolled over to Young. The rookie third baseman goes the short way to retire the side.
The Mariners made Heaney work a little bit, gives up that leadoff single, however, and then retires the next 3 in a row. Sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. So many great storylines around the regular season. The Orioles, 100-win season. Miguel Cabrera, his incredible career coming to a close. And the same can be said about the one and only Tito. Nathaniel Lowe leading things off for the Rangers here in the second. Been a bit of a slide lately for the Rangers first baseman. One for his last 29. Castillo, a couple of strikeouts and a single allowed back in the first. Fastball right over the plate, fouled away. He has been one of the best starters in the American League, Luis Castillo. Only Garrett Cole has a lower opposing average. 4th most innings, 5th lowest earned run average. And a lot of fastballs early on for Castillo. It's not a surprise.
High percentage, 60-some%. He likes to throw his fastball, and Lowe has really struggled with fastballs up in the zone.
Gets to that one but fouls it away. And it's an interesting matchup with that in mind. You have a fastball dominant pitcher that gets a lot of swing and miss and a low average on that pitch going up against a team that has really hammered right-handed fastballs this year, especially for damage.
Yeah, and you got to recognize what your fastball is. You can get caught up in the information and go, well, I'm going to go away from it. But how many fastballs are like Luis Castillo, right? So you have to remember your strength, and you see what he's done on the year. It's only a 192 points batting average, and that's pretty good when it's the lowest in all of baseball.
Leadoff man reaching for the Rangers. Lowe draws the walk. Here comes Josh Young. Young was right here at T-Mobile Park for the All-Star game. Started at third base. He debuted last year. This is his first full season. Spent some time on the injured list with a thumb fracture. Missed 6 weeks. But he's had a very impressive first full year in a Rangers uniform. A Texas guy, was drafted 8th overall. Went to Douglas MacArthur High School in San Antonio, then on to Lubbock. He played his college ball at Texas Tech, and now starting third baseman for the Rangers.
Oh, strike. Wow. You can't. That's going to be a variance. That's going to be really hard. If you get the top of the zone and you get that pitch off the plate, you try not to smile if you're a pitcher, because you know that that is going to be 2 areas you can't cover for an offense that likes to swing the bat.
Young uses his timeout. The 1-2. Strike 3 call. Third punch out for Castillo. They've all come on the heater.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. If you're a hitter, your recognition of the last pitch was low and it was called a strike. So now you think that's high, and it's right at the top of the zone. So top of the zone fastball, and you can get a breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. Watch out. Be a good night to pitch.
1 out, 1 on. Here's Jonah Heim. Both teams with switch hitting catchers. Heim, 18 home runs this year. He has for many years had some big hits against the Mariners. Ground ball. France has it come to him. Crawford return to first, and it's wide. Rojas is there to back it up as it gets over towards the camera well. So a chance for 2 is not executed by the Mariners.
It's one of the toughest plays to make a double play, because you've got the first baseman throwing and knowing he's got to get back, and the shortstop's throwing to the spot where he hopes the first baseman can turn around. This, a lot of times the pitcher will try to get over there, but He's just taking cover.
Yes, he is. As the pitcher, are you just queuing off of the first baseman there?
Yeah. The first baseman, knowing your first baseman and the range he has, but the first thing you got to do is get over there just in case.
Borderline pitch of the knees, called a strike. Leody Taveras had a really all-star caliber first half and has picked it back up here in the month of September.
The one thing he's been very good at is the discipline down. He doesn't chase down as much and controls that part of the strike zone.
It's been a career year across the board for Taveras, most importantly in games played. A chase and that changeup off the plate.
I think he just changed speeds and is going to step on the gas here with 2 strikes. Maybe the same thing he's had for a lot of the hitters. Let's see what they go with.
All 3 strikeouts. The fastball has been the put away pitch. It was a fastball. Taveras gets a piece to stay alive. Still 1-2. Another 1-2. Trying to get him to chase the changeup once more. If you go back to Castillo's days with the Reds, the changeup was really his bread and butter. But since last year, and especially since putting on a Mariners uniform, the fastball has really taken over as his premier pitch.
Well, he's got great arm action, and people sitting home trying to figure out, well, why do people swing at so many changeups? Because if you're trying to protect 98-mile-an-hour fastball and you see the same arm action coming out, you think it's a fastball, and the ball has spin that's taken off of with the grip, and they just cannot stay back to handle both velocity and change of speeds.
2 outs and a man aboard. He's tripled up on it.
That's where he's been pretty good. And staying off of that pitch. Will he get him into an aggressive 3-2 count? You got to know who your aggressive 3-2 hitters are and the ones who are patient. If it's aggressive, you don't have to throw them a strike. If they're patient, you got to make a really, really good pitch.
The payoff. He goes back to the changeup. Taveras takes it. It's the second walk this inning for Luis Castillo. Really good plate appearance by Leody Taveras. Back to the potential. Looked like a chance for a double play.
Yeah, it just throws a little high so you can see what he's trying to do, and he just kind of rips it to the left side there. And that kept the inning alive.
Mariners a very solid team defensively. 2 outs and 2 on for the number 9 hitter, rookie Evan Carter, just recently called up. Good take on a fastball just in off the plate. It's ball 1. Carter was the Rangers' top prospect when he was called up, and one of the very top prospects in all of baseball. 5 home runs already. 2 of them have come against Mariners pitching.
Carter, like most young hitters, likes to hit ahead of the count. Gets behind. It's a lot tougher to hit in the big leagues with the stuff that pitchers have. Early counts, he's a .571 hitter.
Rangers have really scuffled with runners in scoring position on this road trip. 1 for their last 27, in fact. Now Carter coming up through the minors, his calling card was really the ability to get on base. Ahead of the count here. And further ahead, 3-1. He's taken in, he's taken off.
Well, he's done a nice job the last 2 weeks of not chasing. You see all these chase percentages, and numbers are high in the league. He's at 9% the last 2 weeks, which means he's seeing it and he's not expanding the zone. That's what you want. Castillo would have loved to him swing there.
It's another full count for Luis Castillo, his 3rd this inning. And has been a struggle for this Rangers lineup. Last 5 games with runners in scoring position. They're trying to find that clutch base hit that they have been thirsting for. 2 outs, 2 on, no score, and time is called. Go ahead run for the Rangers at second. The 3-2. Slicing left field. Dylan Moore is there to make the catch for out number 3. The Rangers strand a pair. October is on the horizon. Get ready for what happens next. MLB postseason begins October 3rd. Go to MLB.com/postseason for the full schedule.
I'm biased, but it just doesn't get any better this time of year. I mean, you got football. I get it. It's kicking off. Everyone's
high expectations. They're expecting high things for their team.
High expectations.
Yeah, that too. But then you got the playoffs, and you got teams that have built all year for these moments, and only 4 teams are going to have a little bit of a bye once the season ends. But then it's going to be it's so much fun to be in the postseason.
And I know here in Seattle, this fan base has been close before. They had that last year experience, and they want to see it one more time. I know who doesn't want to see the Seattle Mariners.
Who's that?
Whoever would be facing them. I mean, more than likely it's Minnesota if they finish in the 3rd spot, but it could not be if they win the division.
Because of the pitching?
Absolutely. There's some teams right now primed for a run, and I get it. Well, look, I've talked about this the last 3 broadcasts. The postseason over the next 10 years, you're not going to see as many teams make a run from the 6-5 seed like we saw last year. It's new. The Philadelphia Phillies.
A good pitch on a fastball in on Teoscar Hernandez. First strikeout for Andrew Heaney.
But what you want that rest. And the teams that get the best records will learn how to deal with the rest for a team coming in hot after winning a series. But you want to put yourself in the best situation to make a deep run. And the best 2 records in each league over the next 10 years, I predict, will have a higher percentage of getting there than what we saw last year in the first example.
Dylan Moore looks at a first pitch changeup for a strike. Well, the Rangers are trying to snap a 6-year postseason drought. Mariners snapping their 2 decades-long drought last year, clinching a wild card. It's been pretty remarkable, the quick rise. Let's not take for granted from these Texas Rangers. Previous 2 seasons combined, the Rangers finished 68 games under 500. They accrued the 4th most losses in all of baseball. This is year 2 of the new infield up the middle. We know how much they invested in the rotation as well.
Oh, and that rotation isn't even been able to really kind of come to fruition. I mean, you think about on paper what they've done, and a lot of people will go, man, they are definitely all in. They went and got Max Scherzer. Unfortunately, he got hurt. They went and got arguably the most dominant pitcher in baseball when healthy, Jacob deGrom. He got hurt.
Just missed you in. A good take from Dylan Moore. It's a 1-out walk. deGrom, Scherzer, both outs. Jake Odorizzi never even made it out of spring training. He's a free agent at the end of the year. John Gray, a free agent addition last year, part of the big spending with Semien and Seager. Gray was scheduled to start today, but is on the injured list with a forearm strain. France pops this all the way up. Heim off with the mask. He's got room. Quickly 2 outs. Moore could speed at first base.
Well, like I said, it's been a theme throughout baseball. Nobody's immune from it, but I'll tell you what, the Seattle Mariners have done a nice job keeping their rotation pretty fresh and pretty intact. That's why they're scary. That's why they're one of the scariest teams.
If you don't want to face them. I mean, if they had the luxury of being able to win their division and get a bye, you could almost pick them as being one of the prohibited favorites to go to the World Series because of that starting pitching. And that's what you got to have to get here. And our offense, we always documented the first half wasn't very good. Second half's been better. They score, they're going to win.
2 outs and a man aboard. Rojas at the plate. This was an interesting wrinkle. Here's a throwback to first. Moore is safe. Interesting wrinkle in Scott Servais' lineup today. Rojas getting the start at second. Normally it would be Jose Caballero, the platoon partner, at second. He faces the lefties. Rojas has had just under 20 at-bats. That's it since being acquired by the Mariners against lefties this year. Came over at the deadline from Arizona. And Scott Servais having to manage this game in an interesting way. Heaney, no one knows how long he will last. They have Martin Perez, another lefty in their bullpen who could pick up innings. He likes the idea of having Caballero on his bench when needed, if needed, later in this game.
Yeah, you can't manage this traditionally, because I would agree Heaney, 4 innings would be incredible if you're a Ranger.
3-1. And Rojas, it is an extremely small sample, but he has held his own against lefties this year, at least with the Mariners. Overall this season, batting just over 2 1/4 against southpaws. The 3-1. A single through the left side. Dylan Moore will hold at second. And the Mariners stack some runners. 2 outs and 2 on.
Well, that does a couple things. Both the Rangers now and Seattle will turn over the top of their lineup, whether they score or not. It's always nice to have the top of your lineup turned around so that your leadoff hitter bats. So a 2-out hit here would extend the inning, of course, and turn that lineup back over. But as a pitcher, you're always thinking, man, if I can get this out, then I got 9-1-2 versus 1-2-3. And you know, you start the game in a certain way because the team feels that's their best chance of scoring, lining up their lineup in a particular way, and after that it's all random.
2 outs and 2 on. Sam Haggerty DHing today at the plate. Breaking ball called a strike, a touch wide. 0-1. Well, and the importance of extending the inning with 2 outs if you are in the Mariners dugout, trying to get the pitch count up on Heaney, trying to get into that bullpen as quickly as you can.
Yeah, it's not a good theme to be getting in this situation when your bullpen has been struggling like the Rangers have. That's why you need your offense to cover that gap and not provide those stressful situations. And on the flip side, Seattle's saying, let's get into their bullpen based on what we've seen and what they've been able to do.
The 0-2 just got a piece. Third most runs scored in all of baseball this year with 2 outs. The Mariners did not have a lead in game 1 of this series on Thursday until their final at bat. It was the walk-off 2-out 2-run double by J.P. Crawford.
I was trying my best to stay up for that entire game, being on the East Coast, and it was a really well pitched game, obviously. And I woke up next morning and went, wow. That was one of the biggest wins, not knowing what happened. One of the biggest wins in the most important time of their season. And then, of course, flying here yesterday, landing and seeing the score 8-0 certainly carried over.
Matt Bush beginning to warm up inside Bruce Bochy's bullpen, just recalled today. So Heaney looks back there and sees his bullpen warming up with 2 outs in the second and a pitch count that's about to get to 45. Top of the order is due up next. 2 outs and 2 on. Bounce off another pitch.
I've been on both sides. Luxury of my career with the Braves, being in the playoffs a lot, but I've been on the sides where you got one eye on the scoreboard and one eye on the field, and you got to take care, of course, what's on the field, but you're also anticipating, like, oh man, if that team loses, here comes our chances. And that's what the Mariners are going to have to rely on. They won't know that, of course, for quite some time because the Houston plays later.
Justin Verlander getting the start tonight for Dusty Baker, taking on the Diamondbacks. Merrill Kelly on the other side, so good pitching matchup there. Another 0-2. Kind of flicks this into center field. Taveras has it come right to him. And just like the Rangers did, the Mariners strand a couple. We make our way on to the third inning. Top of the order is coming up. Marcus Semien will lead things off for the Rangers when we come back. Marcus Semien leading things off. Top of the order for the Rangers. No score. Semien having a remarkable season for Texas. He's a home run shy of number 30. He's a ribby shy of his 100.
And he's one of the guys in the lineup that really feasts on 95 or more fastballs. Really can selectively put him in a category that not many people would love to hit a ball over 95 miles an hour, but he has done that very well this year.
Two balls and a strike.
And you can see the respect there. First two pitches were breaking balls. Then he threw him a fastball and then a changeup right there. I don't know if he'll go fastball 3-1 even leading off. He did. Oh, wow.
It has been that kind of day so far for Castillo.
There's the changeup down.
Lost him on a slider, so leadoff walk. That is the third walk drawn by the Rangers as we go down to the field to Kenny.
Aaron, you wouldn't know it from Luis Castillo's nickname, La Piedra, the Rock, but he has one of the game's most infectious personalities. Mariners pitching coach Pete Woodworth recalls the first time he paid Castillo a mound visit at Yankee Stadium just after he was traded last season. Woodworth said that Castillo swatted his hat and laughed as if he didn't have a care in the world. He brings that positive, lovable energy all the time. Woodworth calls him the most fun player I've ever worked with.
Well, they rave about Castillo here in Seattle. For all the obvious reasons. Here's Corey Seager with the man aboard. No score, top of the third. This is lashed foul down the line. Scott Servais said earlier this year that he has never been around a player in his entire career as a player, as a manager, that is more even-keeled day in and day out than Luis Castillo.
And that's good to have in a game like this, right? You don't want anxiety and adrenaline are going to be part of this. And if you can lower the anxiety and keep the adrenaline low again, you'll be able to be ready in these moments.
Dylan Moore nearing the line. And the Mariners left fielder makes the catch. Castillo has held one of the league's most dangerous hitters, Corey Seager, 0 for his first two.
And there's been some relatively easy outs, so that stress goes down. Listen, when you're on the mound in basically an elimination game, you're going to leave everything you have, and you're going to try to do everything you can to keep the score tied or leave with the lead. And if you can get, this time he didn't, he got the first hitter to get on base, you can keep that damage down.
First pitch strike to Robbie Grossman, DHing and batting third for the Rangers. Yes, Texas has only hit so far. Nothing in two. Now a reminder what is at stake in this one for both sides. The Rangers can clinch a playoff berth with a win today. Meanwhile, the Mariners will be eliminated from the playoffs if they lose and the Astros win later tonight. So it's a potential must win for the Mariners. One out, one on. Grossman chases a fastball off the plate. There's out number two. All the strikeouts so far for Castillo. All four have come on the fastball.
Well, there's the fastball. He stays behind it. See the run and the location. Out of the zone.
He has done a nice job with the high target locating and not crossfiring the pitch to the catcher. What I mean by crossfire is you set up and the catcher's got to dive somewhere else. He's in that location because that's a strength of his and the release point.
You see a lot of young pitchers that aren't really skilled yet at doing that, and the information tells them to go up, and the catcher stands up, and the next thing you know, he's diving left or diving right. It's a pitch you've got to practice. It's a pitch you've got to utilize in your bullpen because you need it in the game when it calls for it.
Dangerous hitter in Garcia at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Garcia, an all-star this year for the 2nd time. The guy who played in Japan was at one point DFA'd. He has been a major force in the American League once again this year. 2 outs and a man on. Chopping, tough play. Suarez, bare hand. Garcia runs well. He's safe. Infield base hit keeps the inning alive for the Rangers.
Well, wouldn't you know it, when a team is struggling with big hits with running and scoring position, it's going to keep showing itself until somebody breaks through. This is swinging base hit, and the Rangers find themselves in another 2-out runners in scoring position. And we've already talked to you about this series has not been kind to them with runners in scoring position. And Mr. Lowe could change that for the Rangers. Been a tough go here.
So once again, the Rangers have 2 men on base against Castillo. They're making him work today. His next pitch will be his 60th. Lowe cracks this high and foul. And the difference between these 2 teams is obvious from the pitching standpoint today. Bochy's got nowhere good to turn in that bullpen. Meanwhile, Scott Servais has a rested and ready bullpen. All of his leverage arms are available. They've even put Bryce Miller, one of the Mariners starters, in the bullpen today if needed for an inning. It's an all hands on deck type of day for the Mariners.
Yeah, because the difference is if it doesn't work out, they got a ton of rest, right? So they're trying to get and make as much pressure they can put on Texas and Bruce Bochy, and certainly here at home, winning the first 2 games. That theme wants to continue if you're a Mariners fan.
0-2. Last night the Mariners pitched their 17th shutout of the season, extending a club record. This incredible lineup for the Rangers has posted just 2 runs over the first 2 games.
I know there's a way to find it, and I'm not asking anybody to find it now, but I would love to know the teams that have faced the most position players pitching.
The Rangers.
Probably. And the numbers they.
It's double digits.
It's unbelievable.
Fastball misses, an easy take for Lowe. It's a full count. A lot of full counts from Castillo. It seems like being very careful to stay away from the middle of the plate.
He has overthrown his fastball just a little bit coming out of it because he's typically around the plate, and he's missing just a little bit up in the upper quadrant area.
2 outs, 2 on the payoff. Ground ball into center field. Nathaniel Lowe gets the Rangers on the board. The walk to Semien comes around to score, and Texas strikes first. It's 1-0 Rangers. And for a guy who's been ice cold and low, that has to feel incredible.
Well, the situations are going to keep repeating themselves until somebody can get a hit. Fastball, upper quadrant, right down the middle, and Lowe goes right up the middle. No defense for that. And the Rangers get off to their first lead in quite some time because they didn't score yesterday.
Save your best stuff for the ninth, John. Still got a long ways to go on this one. Young takes outside for ball 1. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Rangers have been thirsting for that clutch knock with a runner in scoring position.
Tell you what, this young man had it going before his injury. Missed like 70 games or something like that.
6 weeks.
Yeah, that's
dealt with a broken thumb. Fouled at the plate. And you think about how much the Rangers have been searching for an answer at third base since the retirement of Adrian Beltre. Charlie Culberson, Brock Holt, Todd Frazier, Asdrubal Cabrera, to name a few. Kind of left won a Gold Glove in the shortened season, but Josh Young looks like he is the third baseman of the present day and the future for sure for the Rangers. Rangers seem like they've done a nice job not chasing the secondary pitches from Castillo.
Well, they know they're going to see a high percentage of fastballs, and when they see a wrinkle, they've really got to kind of stay back and, like you said, not expand the zone. If they do that, that's just double trouble for them.
Missing away as Tripp Gibson, our home plate umpire, lets us know clear as day. It's another full count for Castillo.
Well, we've seen some pitches that were called strikes that were a ball, and based on that, you think sometimes you get spoiled as a pitcher going, hey, that's the same spot I got it called before. But Rangers have really, and to your point, done a nice job expanding the pitch count.
2 outs, runners on the corners. Another 3-2.
This one was off the plate, that he was kind of hoping that he could maybe steal one. Close.
Pitch number 7 to Young. Way outside, and the bases are loaded. 4th walk for Luis Castillo.
So far, the one pitch he's not connected with, it's a good time to get a little bit of a break and pitching coach going out, is that slider's kind of not really turning the corner and staying on the plate long enough. And if he can get that slider to turn the corner off that fastball, because those are the two deadly combinations, and if he's wide and off the plate, the hitter can recognize it and stay off of swinging that, and that's what the Rangers have done in this inning.
Now, maybe there's no rhyme or reason to this. Maybe this is just a baseball thing that you can't explain. But if you look at Castillo this year, by inning, and you see the pitch count is close to 30 here in the 3rd, he has given up far and away the most runs in the 3rd inning this year. Normally, you get these kind of guys in the 1st.
Yeah, no doubt. And part of that could be he's always trying to establish his fastball. And maybe in the 3rd inning, he's bringing those secondary pitches in and not quite having the feel. That's the good and the bad about being able to throw 70% fastballs. You've got to be able to go to your secondary stuff when situation arises like this.
Jonah Heim pops up the first pitch for strike 1. Got Heim to expand that time. Rangers have him loaded up. Castillo trying to limit the damage. Fastball over the plate, 0-2. Heim is pretty remarkable. 18 home runs, a career high. He is closing in on 100 RBIs this year. He has been a major run producer for this team. They are on their feet inside T-Mobile Park. 2 outs, bases loaded. The 0-2.
Tell you what, this is where it gets frustrating when you're a fastball pitcher and you get a lot of foul balls that don't stay in the park, right? It gets frustrating, those foul balls. You can just pop one of these up. But this would be the pitch to try to get a swing and miss, and not really, after getting the fastball up, see what he goes to.
Fastball up again, way up. Now, if you go back to August 27th in Minnesota, grand slam, and then in September at Rogers Center, he does it again. Jammed him. 2 this year, 3 for his career. Got a piece of him.
Sliders and curveballs have given him more fits than changeups. He's done a nice job staying on changeups. So that's the scouting report you're looking at, and you're trying to figure out 0-2. How do I get him to expand the zone? They tried up a few times. He's fouled it off. They went in with the slider. He fouled it off.
What a pivotal point in the game right here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 0-2. Ground ball into center field for a base hit. Garcia is in. Lowe is right behind him. He scores standing. Jonah Heim with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the third. Plates a pair, and the Rangers extend the lead on the Mariners 3-0.
And that was the changeup. He stayed on it, kept his hands back, and went right up the middle. Watch this pitch. Changeup grip, outer part. Not a bad pitch off the plate, but look how he just stays there and flicks it right past the infield. And 0-2 turned into now 3 runs batted in with 2 outs, and the Rangers have been waiting to do that. We talked about their offensive capabilities. It's been a frustrating inning for Luis Castillo.
Now the third inning. Once again the bugaboo for Castillo. Here is Taveras. Broken bat, soft fly ball, shallow right field in front of Teoscar Hernandez. Another run is in. Young scores. It's a 4 spot for the Rangers.
Well, another changeup off the end of the bat. So frustrating. He's thrown a lot of good pitches here that have gotten fouled off. And now the last couple have been exit velocity, and we live in an exit velocity world. It isn't going to show very much, but it works out well for the Texas Rangers, who you could tell were bottled up offensively, thinking it's got to turn, and you never know when it's going to turn. Well, in the third inning it did for them.
All of this coming with 2 outs, and now the Mariners have their bullpen warming. 5 straight batters reaching with 2 outs, and it all began with that innocent infield base hit from Adolis Garcia. Matt Brash beginning to warm up. Next pitch will be the 80th for Castillo.
He definitely has had his fastball tonight. He just hasn't been able to put hitters away in the right spots, especially when he's gotten ahead. A lot of 3-2 counts, and certainly that's why the pitch count's so high. And not a lot of first pitch outs, obviously.
Here's Evan Carter. Ball. Good pitch called ball 1.
Now you'll take a line drive out. You know, you go through scenarios where, again, another good pitch, foul ball. Didn't put it in play. You know, and then the 2 pitches he makes, soft, hit soft, but big RBIs.
Way outside. Luis Castillo has never thrown fewer than 5 innings in a start this year. It's that call, 2-2. And in his most important start of the season, the bullpen is warming up in the third. 83 pitches now. Another foul ball. Four runs this inning, none the previous 16 for this Rangers squad. They were shut out last night in game 2. Held to 2 runs in game 1. And another take on a changeup beneath the knees. It's a full count. This is the 9th batter of the inning. Simeon is on deck, and Brash is warming inside of the Mariners bullpen. Ball 4. Another walk from Castillo, his 5th. And the Bluebirds making some noise inside T-Mobile Park. And Scott's got to go get him. Now, Scott Servais was not anticipating having to get his all-star starter in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded, no less. A 4 spot for Texas. Now the Mariners have to go to their high leverage arm, Matt Brash, to keep this game from getting further out of hand. The Rangers open up the floodgates in the 3rd, and they knock out Castillo after 2 2/3 innings. They were shut out last night, the league's top offense. And a 4 spot for the Rangers, all coming with 2 outs here in this 3rd inning, and they have knocked out Luis Castillo, the Mariners' top starter, 2 2/3 innings. By far his shortest outing of the season. And he leaves with the bases loaded. Matt Brash, one of the game's great swing and miss relievers, is up on the mound now.
Yeah, and a huge moment, obviously, for Brash. The game's still within balance right now. As we leave it here and get this huge out and turn the offense back over.
Facing a tough hitter in Marcus Semien. Missing high for ball 1. No margin for error here for Matt Brash. This is his 78th appearance of the season. It ties an all-time single-season club record.
You see a lot of those pitches, a lot of sliders. A high percentage of pitches are going to come out of the slider form, and then his fastball falls second. But it's pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher, with that slider taking the lead of what he throws a lot.
1-2 on Semien. Another slider. Brash leads the majors in appearances. And gets thrown into one.
Tricky inning after another. The Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase right behind him than his fellow bullpen mate Justin Topa. Not far off. The 1-2. Lined into left field. Dylan Moore dives. What a catch! A potential game saver. A remarkable play. A clean catch by Dylan Moore. And Semien feeling it. The Rangers have the lead.
This was unbelievable. I mean, we saw it live. That doesn't do it justice right there. Full. I mean, fully in the air. Diving. The game would have been broken open if he doesn't make that play.
Now this sold out crowd silenced in that 3rd inning, top half of the 3rd inning. The MLB app is your place for live baseball, real-time highlights and pitch-by-pitch updates faster than ever. Get personalized highlight reels based on players you follow every day. Download the app today. J.P. Crawford, top of the order for the Mariners. And isn't it funny? In the bottom of the 2nd, we were talking about how Bruce Bochy had his bullpen warming. Heaney was against the ropes. And then not long thereafter, it's Luis Castillo who gets knocked out of the ball game, and the Mariners have to go to their bullpen.
Yeah, you never know with this game. I mean, there's just so many things on paper, matchups. The advantage goes to this team and that team, but pressure and winning a baseball game, especially late, knowing your playoff lives are at stake, can make you do and see different things you wouldn't see in just a regular season game.
Ground ball. Lowe has it at first base. Heaney covers, and Crawford is routine out number 1. Julio Rodriguez, the batter. He flew out to right field earlier. Ground ball snared by Heaney, and another ground ball out. 2 up and 2 down as we go down to the field to Kenny.
Well, Aaron, that strained muscle in John Gray's wrist, it's considered relatively minor, but they felt, the Rangers did, that they could not go one pitcher short while still competing for a playoff berth. So by placing Gray on the 15-day IL for pitchers, that's retroactive to Thursday, they knew he could not be activated until Game 5 of the DS, but He is essentially their fourth starter behind Jordan Montgomery, Eovaldi, and Dane Dunning, so he would not truly be needed until the ALCS, if they get that far.
And it's been a rotation in motion for the Rangers this year. Here is Eugenio Suarez.
Ball.
1 ball and 1 strike. So Heaney making the start. He was the starter before, of course. Moved to the bullpen at the beginning of this month.
I feel like a lot of the games he's pitched, or at least the ones that I've seen, it's just been one inning that's kind of done him in, right? It's not. He's tough to throws across his body, and the ball gets on you. It's not 98, it's not 97, but he's just funky enough to mix locations, pitch up, raise your eyes, and then throw a changeup or slider off of that.
Strike 3 called. Speaking of, there is the slider. It locks up Eugenio Suarez. The Rangers got to be pretty happy so far. Heaney has posted 3 scoreless. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. Now Corey Seager's older brother, Kyle Seager, greatest third baseman in Mariners franchise history. Maybe watching this one from his home back in North Carolina. And his brother, Corey Seager, leading things off here in the 4th inning. Corey 0 for 2. He has hit Mariners pitching well this year, batting well over 400 against Mariners pitching, 3 home runs. Two 2-0. Matt Brash back out there. He got the final out in the top of the 3rd.
What do you think happened growing up in the Seager household? Do you think he ate all the food and his brother didn't get the fair share? Like, this is a huge human being.
Especially for this position.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, when you see that Labrador puppy and you see the paws, you're like, it's going to be a big dog. You shake his hands and you're like, this is a big man that probably most people think, all right, won't last. Is he quitting or just getting another?
You know, I think this is a heads-up move by Teoscar Hernandez. He figured out that there's a hole in his glove, I think. Better now than once the ball is in play.
But Seager,
boy, Ken's right on it though. Look at that. He's all over it. Bloodhound over there. Now start Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday on Fox. Quarterback Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. lead the undefeated Buckeyes against the Terrapins. It all starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with Big Noon kickoff live from Columbus. Then it's Maryland, Ohio State next Saturday at noon Eastern on Fox.
Could be a trap game. Ohio State coming off a huge win at Notre Dame.
Huge win. Ryan Day was pretty animated after that one.
Oh, he was. I don't think he was happy with Lou Holtz.
New glove in hand for Teoscar Hernandez. Seager in a good count, 3-1. He leads off the 4th. Off the end of the bat, might have cut the ball, and it trickles into left field. Not your typical Corey Seager hit, but the hits keep on coming for the Rangers now. Leadoff single.
And again, it's 4 runs, and I can't remember anything hit off the bat over 80 miles an hour. But this is how it goes sometimes offensively. You can have your games where you hit bullets right at people, but this is a classic hit it where they're not.
Strike to Grossman.
Well, the point I was going to make about Seager is you signed that big contract and don't know if all of it will be played at shortstop. More than likely it won't.
10-year, $325 million contract. By far and away the most expensive contract in club history. Skips in there. And Brash looking down to the front slope of the mound. 1-2. Now Seager's contract was part of
roughly $560 million committed by the Rangers in free agent contracts going into last year. Seager the biggest chunk. Semien as well. John Gray was a part of that offseason. Today's scheduled starter, but on the injured list instead.
But the biggest prize, or at least the one that everyone thought, how will this play out with Jacob deGrom? And the reason I say how will it play out, because the history has shown the previous 3 years with a lot of injuries, but when healthy, unhittable. And of course he goes down now with the second Tommy John. And time will tell on how that contract lives out for the Rangers.
Fastball misses way outside.
They have what, one more year with Scherzer based on the contract he signed with the Mets, and of course he's not going to be able to pitch the rest of the year.
Three and two. So many 3-ball counts for Mariners pitching. This is a pitching staff that has thrown essentially more strikes than anyone. Rangers have had some good at bats. Suarez over by the line into foul territory. There's out number 1.
You know, every time I see all the pitchers that the Pittsburgh Pirates either traded or let get away that obviously dominate in other teams, I feel like every time I see a Cardinals outfielder, they got to feel the same way. There's a few of them, Garcia being one of them, and Rosarena, and there's a few too many, and have had success away from that organization with other teams.
Garcia calls for time. It's been quite a journey for Adolis Garcia. He has one of the better outfield arms you'll find, and also all kinds of power. His next home run will be his 40th. That finds the backstop, and Seager pushes into second base on a wild pitch. Feels like Rangers hitters have been ahead of the count almost all night. Three and one now.
Well, they're doing a good job staying off the pitch, off the plate, especially the sliders and the changeups that Castillo was throwing. And now with the base open, you think he's going to be super careful here with Garcia.
And this is just high. Garcia draws a walk. He's aboard for the second time. One out, 2 on now. And of course, it's a tricky thing when you face this Rangers lineup. They have this incredible combination, John, of contact, power on base. It's not like this is a boom or bust lineup where they strike out all the time. They're about middle of the pack in strikeout rate this year. So just like the Mariners did last night in game 2, maybe you can tell better than I can whether it's intentionally trying to stay away from the heart of the plate, if it's Castillo and Brash just not having their best control. But you put it over the dish and it could be trouble against this team.
And that's the biggest thing, that there's respect for what the information comes back at you, like fastball in the zone, fastball hitting team, power, slug, and you try to stay away from that. And I specifically think just getting too fine when you're ahead 1-2, 0-2, and not really having that kill pitch available.
And it was Lowe who got it going in the 3rd inning. His RBI single up the middle with 2 outs. Got the Rangers on the board, part of a 4-run 3rd inning. Lowe, who's really had his struggles recently, dropped in the order the last couple of games, as that one really gets away from Brash.
But to be fair, a lot of those hits were just a swinging bunt, off the end of the bat. Like, it wasn't rockets that you're used to seeing. They just did a good job on the pitches that were there to be stay back, make contact, hit it up the middle, and that's what they did against Castillo, and they have the lead.
Well, to your point, the Rangers have one hard hit ball in play that has resulted in a hit.
Yeah, and it's been frustrating if you're on the other side. You make your pitch, and the result doesn't match making your pitch.
He got him swinging.
There's the slider from Brash. 2 outs.
Well, here's what you see in the third inning. All right, this is probably the hardest hit ball of the bunch because it was a changeup. He stayed back. Then this one's just off the end of the bat, just reaches out, and then this one again, just kind of a blooper off the end of the bat. And those were heartbreaking for the Mariners because they all came with 2 outs. Just needed to get one more out.
First pitch strike to Josh Young. Shortest start by Luis Castillo since May of 2019 with the Reds. Really chasing that slider. Young calls time. Two outs, 2 on. It's been a tricky inning for Brash, but a chance to get out of it unscathed. Get him? Yes, it did. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. He does not go around the check swing, and Young, who missed so much time with that fractured thumb, gets hit somewhere in the arm by the pitch, it looks like. And Scott Servais, I guess he's not pleased with that check swing call.
Well, we'll see if he goes after this pitch and does hold up, at least from that angle, and gets him right on the elbow. So
a single, a walk, a wild pitch, and now a hit batter for Brash here in the 4th. And it came with 2 outs and 2 strikes. It's not been a sharp day for Mariners pitching. Now the bases are again loaded. Jonah Heim, the batter.
what a luxury to have a switch hitting catcher in today's game.
There are a few from the game now. Rutschman, of course.
Yep. Huge at that position.
The other one in this game, Cal Raleigh for the Mariners. 2-0. It was Himes' 2-run single that made it 3-0 Rangers in the 3rd. And that was an at bat that Luis Castillo tried to finish him off time and time again. He fouled off 3 pitches with 2 strikes. Hung in there long enough to get the base hit as Gabe Speier is warming up. 3-0. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Gets the call on the edge. Well, not close to bringing home a run, but instead 3 balls and a strike. No place to put him. He walks him with the bases loaded, and the Rangers get their 5th run. Well, a combination of pitching from behind all game long so far for the Mariners, and just one quality at bat after another by Rangers hitters. And they have chased Brash here in the 4th. 5-0 Texas. Gabe Speier is coming on.
Thursday with the wild card rounds on ABC and ESPN. The next Saturday it's the start of the ALDS only on Fox and FS1. A bases loaded walk by Jonah Heim, the latest. 5-0 Rangers. Dave Speier is on. Most bases loaded walks in all of baseball this year. The outlier most, these Texas Rangers, now at 19. So the Mariners turn around the switch hitting Leody Taveras to bat right-handed. Speier having a breakout season in the Mariners bullpen. Master of the first pitch strike. 2 outs, bases loaded. Swing and a miss for strike one.
Against right-handers, he's going to throw his sinker, four-seamer, and slider. You saw the slider first pitch there. And they need a big relief outing now for the rest of the game. They basically have to shut down the Rangers the rest of the game.
Chops at it. It's 0-2. Rangers have the bases loaded once again, second straight inning.
I talked about limiting the stress in big games. There's been a lot of stress, and it hasn't worked out well. And you documented it, the walks, the hits that weren't lightning off the bat, but effective.
Cal Raleigh keeps it in front of him. A ball and 2 strikes to Taveras. This one has not gone how Scott Service and that Mariners dugout had envisioned. 5-0 Rangers in the fourth, and Texas threatening to blow it open with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Swing and a miss, he got him. Speier gets out of a jam and he leaves the bases loaded, but another run comes in for Texas. They have claimed a 5-0 lead going to the bottom of the fourth.
Saturday here in Seattle, the Rangers have staked Andrew Heaney to a 5-0 lead.
You almost feel like the Mariners have to score this inning to create something, to get into that bullpen of the Rangers. And you're seeing bonus inning after bonus inning from Heaney with the 5-0 lead.
Cal Raleigh skies this into very shallow left. Young calls everybody off. The third baseman in foul ground makes the catch for out number 1.
And for every inning that Bruce Bochy can get out of Heaney, that's a bonus, because you don't know what you were going to get out of the Rangers starter based on coming into need because of an injury. And we've documented what the Rangers bullpen has been of late, and that 5-run lead definitely helps.
Leadoff man retired in front of Teoscar Hernandez. It's on the edge for a strike. Now, Heaney was moved to the bullpen in early September. He was just over 130 innings on the season. Now, last year he barely threw 70 innings because of all the shoulder problems. Was on the IL numerous times. A little bit high,
but he's funky. He does just enough. He's not going to wow you. He's got 5 pop-ups or 5 flyouts, and he just changes speeds. He throws you a wrinkle and changes location with his fastball.
Ball inside.
.23 home runs allowed this year by Heaney. 22 of them have come off right-handed hitters.
There's another one.
Routine fly ball, shallow right field. Garcia right there, and a stress-free out number 2. Two up and 2 down for Dylan Moore, and Bruce Bochy's an out away from having Heaney get through 4 innings. Breaking ball for a strike. Moore walked earlier, had a critical diving catch with the bases loaded and 2 outs earlier in this game. Heaney gets the call right there, borderline pitch.
I would try to bury this next one at his back foot after getting that call. We'll see if the catcher and pitcher are on the same page after getting a pitch in there. No, they're going to go away. See, the reason I don't like that, I just think you put so much pressure on the hitter once you've gotten a call that's a ball, and get away from the information that you've been called or analytically told. Go back in there.
They go in that time, almost scraped him.
But go in there with the same version of the pitch. I mean, it was a slider down and in. You think the hitter's going to trust that the next slider down and in that's close he can lay off of? No way. Now you've worked the count 2-2. You've seen 2 different pitches. When that would have been the pitch with 2 strikes, it would have been hard for him. Now you reset his focus. You reset everything about it, and it's a 3-2 count. Seems innocent. 2 outs in a 5-0 game. You just don't know what that translates into after this pitch.
Down the left field line. This drops so. Flag down in left field by Evan Carter. Able to cover the ground for out number 3. So Heaney, on a day for the Rangers, posts 4 scoreless.
Support your team into the home stretch at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your favorite team at MLBshop.com. Evan Carter, the rookie, leading things off. Gabe Spire, the lefty, back up on the mound for the Mariners. We asked Bruce Bochy what stands out about his rookie left fielder Evan Carter. He talked about the joy and the ease that he plays with. He said it looks like he's playing American Legion ball when he's out there.
And he thinks the power will come. I'm always intrigued with how that translates when you watch a young player, and of course they grow into their body, they get stronger, they're in the league a couple years. But I guess all the information that we have available can translate into power down the road.
That is always the last thing, or almost always the last thing to come, isn't it?
It is, and I've been always amazed at the guys in the minor leagues. He's got like 10 home runs. And he said, oh, when he gets to the big leagues, he's going to be a 30, 40 home run guy. I'm like,
you mean when he's facing the best pitching he's ever seen? Fouls off a good fastball from Spire. 2-2.
This is year 1 of the new rules. I cannot wait till next year to see the teams that take advantage of the things they learned in year 1 of the new rules.
He goes around.
Carter strikes out. Spire struck out the only 2 batters that he's faced. And now here comes Marcus Semien.
One of the things that you've seen these teams have to adjust on the fly, of course, the pitch clock. No shift. Bases a little bigger. Stolen bases going up. There's going to be a lot of attention to detail in spring training for a lot of clubs next year on what they want to do differently and better.
One out, base is empty for Marcus Semien. Semien out to left field. Dylan Moore comes back to it for round number 2. Now, some teams were just better equipped naturally than others, especially from the speed component.
No doubt. And one of the teams that's going to play a huge part if the Mariners are able to come back is playing the Houston Astros, and that's Arizona. They can absolutely frustrate you on the bases and make it nightmarish. They don't necessarily have to hit a bunch of home runs. You know, under the previous rules, it was all about the home run, strike, walk, right? You just got to hit home runs, take your bases, and strikeouts are no big thing. Well, with the shift being gone and the ability to now entice philosophically to steal more bases, you can compete with the big boys.
This is foul. Seager had one over that direction earlier, but this one, a foul ball. It's 0-1.
And we've seen some of the biggest payrolls in the bigger clubs of baseball this year not make the postseason and look relatively old because their roster did not fit the athletics kind of style that some of the teams are. I'm talking about the Yankees and the Padres and the Mets and even the Cardinals were high expectancy to get into the playoffs and go deep. So you're getting to see younger teams effectively be better quicker because of these new rules.
Dots them up 0-2. The teams with the top 3 opening day payrolls in baseball, the Mets, the Yankees, the Padres, will not be playing in October.
No.
2 outs, nobody on. The only other time that happened in the wild card era, thanks to our good friend Anthony Castro-Vince, who does such a great job covering the league, was 2008. The Yankees, the Mets, and the Tigers. That was an 8-team field. Of course, now expanded to 12. Spire strikes out Seager. Spire retires
all 4 that he faces in this one today. Trying to keep it close. The Rangers have a 5-0 lead.
Andrew Heaney is back out there to start the bottom of the 5th for the Rangers. They lead 5-0. Ty France leads it off for the Mariners. And Heaney with a pitch-com issue. He's at 70 pitches now. It's the most he's thrown since moving to the bullpen.
I'll be honest, I couldn't do that. I couldn't have the thing in my hand to hear the audible. I'd be the pitcher that would be on giving the signs, right? I just think some pitchers do it, and some organizations are good. That was interesting that one of the things that Scott Servais talked about, or maybe even Bruce Bochy, about information quicker. You've got to get the information quicker to relay the signs, and that pitch clock has affected a lot of those scenarios. And that's something that clubs can work on next spring training, because you got to get it, go, and have a fluidity to it.
0-1 to France.
Ball.
And it doesn't seem like there's a ton of guys who called their own game with the pitch com.
No,
Bassett comes to mind. He's reached 200 innings just recently for the Blue Jays. There are a number of them. Seeing eye single from France. Mariners need some base runners. That's a good start for Seattle. In fact, the Mariners' first base hit since the 2nd inning. That brings up Rojas. Mariners trying to find a way to get to the top of the order in this bottom of the 5th. Puts the edge for a strike. Rojas coming to Seattle at the deadline. Mariners traded away their closer Paul Sewald. In return, got Rojas and Dom Canzone, who was on the bench to begin this game, an outfielder, young rookie outfielder. Mariners have really struggled in recent years to find production at second base. They feel like they have a platoon now with Caballero and Rojas. As now Bochy gets his bullpen up again. Josh Sborz worked an inning last night. Limbos him back.
Fastball up and in, obviously looking out over the plate with those breaking balls that he threw. This would be a good case after this pitch if he wanted to throw another breaking ball. Maybe you think a hitter is kind of reaching out over the plate and getting to outside pitches. You straighten him up on an inside fastball.
Good take by Rojas just above the zone. It's a full count. Number 9 hitter Sam Haggerty on deck.
The payoff.
Into center field, Taveras cutting across to his right. And he makes the catch. There is out number 1. Now so much at play in the final 48 hours of the regular season. In the American League West, the Mariners clinch a postseason berth with a win today. They clinch the division with a win, and a win by the Astros. Mariners 2 games back. Meanwhile, in the wild card race, Tampa Bay winning today in Toronto. Toronto's magic number 1. They could have clinched the postseason and celebrated with their victory today. That did not happen. Mariners on the outside looking in there. Here's Haggerty. Missing away 2-0.
Well, it'll be an interesting decision. If he doesn't get this guy, does Bruce Bochy leave him in to face Crawford, lefty, and then
Scores for Rodriguez.
yeah,
2-1. By the way, a loss today by the Mariners clinches a wild card spot for Toronto. So all eyes north of the border on this game. Ground ball, and it splits the right side. Haggerty is aboard, and the Mariners show a little bit of life here in the 5th inning. 1 out and 2 on.
here comes that guy that has been a thorn in the Rangers the last 2 games.
Now Bochy sticking with the left on left. Left scores for Rodriguez on deck. Now this crowd is hoping for something here in the 5th inning. Very high, ball 1. France at second. Haggerty runs very well. He's at first. Club high, not deep, right center field, and drops it for a base hit. A parachute job. A soft single from J.P. Crawford, and the Mariners suddenly load the bases for Julio Rodriguez. And this will make the Rangers go to their bullpen. Everybody okay out there? Semien a little gimpy. That's not good.
A big swing, but
Right in that triangle, he thinks that's an out. And he's going to find out at first base that he's rewarded with one of the most perfectly placed bloop singles.
Now Semien upending Adolis Garcia here. Now the trainer going out to make sure both of those guys are okay, and they're really focused on Semien. Bochy hasn't made the call yet. Now he does. So Sborz is coming on, and this is the first test tonight for this Rangers pitching staff. Heaney, remarkable. What a performance. Getting a start on a bullpen day. He leaves them loaded and turns the keys over to a shaky pen.
Rangers are leading 5-0, but the Mariners threatening. They've got the bases loaded thanks to this bloop base hit by J.P. Crawford.
Had to respect his powers, so Garcia was playing deep, and there went from disappointment to embarrassed happiness.
Josh Sborz struck out the side in order last night. He can rush it home. Rodriguez takes a fastball low for ball 1.
This is where the Mariners are going to need Rodriguez to really hone in on the strike zone. He can expand the zone. He's an electric bat. He can obviously hit for power, but this is a huge situation here to at least get 1 or 2.
High lift, not deep. Carter, shallow left field. Not speed at first base in France, and with 2 pitches, Rodriguez is retired for out number 2.
Wow, what a huge out. Fastball, slider, curveball, and he hit a breaking ball at the end of the bat here. and just pops it up. We've seen a lot of pop-ups and flyouts today by the Mariners.
Huge opportunity for the Mariners here. Eugenio Suarez. This is high for ball one. Now Scott Servais said earlier this year that the player he likes at the plate in these situations more than anyone is Suarez, because he can slow it down. Can he slow this one down with the bases loaded? Ground ball, fair ball. Young takes his time on to first for out number 3. Suarez puts it in play, but Sborz gets Rodriguez, gets Suarez. Andrew Heaney and the Rangers have blanked the Mariners over 5 innings.
In this one, top of the 6th, 5-0 Texas. The sold-out crowd has been largely silenced by Andrew Heaney. Heaney 4 1/3 scoreless. John Gray placed on the injured list yesterday. Heaney getting the start, coming out of the bullpen, pitching into the 5th. Edward Bizardo is up on the mound and fires the first pitch strike to Robbie Grossman. Bizardo acquired by Seattle from Baltimore at the deadline. After the Mariners really made Heaney work over the first couple of innings, he was able to settle into a nice groove. Rodriguez in center field.
Grossman is out number 1.
Just feel like that last inning could have just really, I mean, this crowd was waiting to erupt, and what a great job by, we talked about the Rangers bullpen. That was the first test.
Missing inside, ball 1 to Garcia. Suarez has it, flattens out over to third. 2 up and 2 down. We send you back to LA. Mike Hill for an update. What's going on, Mike? All right, thank you, Mike. Verlander pitching for the Astros today. There's ball 1. That was close. Now the Rangers can clinch a playoff berth with the win today. The Mariners are eliminated with the Rangers win.
Ball in.
And the Astros doing the same.
Well, you know, Toronto's watching this game.
Oh, absolutely. Mariners lose, Blue Jays are in. They have not been able to take care of it themselves against the Rays. They lost in extras today. 2-1. This is a Rangers team that held first place in the division from April 8th to August 27th. They held first place, or a portion of it, for 148 of the first 149 days of the season. And it is coming down to the final weekend.
I'm just amazed. I don't know, you know, if you put me in a position to be a manager, I don't know how my heartbeat would be if every game was close. And Bruce Bochy with the San Francisco Giants, it seemed like every one of those World Series championships and those teams played close games. And here he is again with a new team and a bullpen that has not been great. They've had some gut punches to the, losses, but never seems to I mean, it would drive me. I'd go.
But you're not surprised by that.
You wouldn't have the bedside manner that Bochy does?
I would probably learn it.
Whoa, can't move it forward. He strikes out. Pizzardo out of the pen. Goes 1, 2, 3. Rangers take a 5-0 lead at the bottom of the 6th inning. An update from Atlanta. Most strikeouts in a single season in Braves history, John.
See ya.
I'm just the messenger.
Oh, that was inevitable there.
Sliding stop. Semien picks himself up. 1 pitch, 1 out. Cal Raleigh retired.
The question will be now, how many times does he break his own record? I think each year he'll break it.
But your quads are better.
No. It's ridiculous what he's done.
He's an animal. Just remarkable. Leadoff man retired by Spores. He sat down the first 3 that he's faced. He was recently activated off the injured list, had a hamstring strain.
By the way, he broke the record in like 50 less innings.
Fouled away. 0-2. And he is one of the game's elites. Mariners had the bases loaded back in the 5th inning. This is a quick skipper, knee high. Semien has it come to him for out number 2. In the 5th, it was Spores who took over for Heaney, inheriting a 1-out bases loaded jam.
Yeah, that ended up being really the moment of the game and could be the deciding factor for the Rangers.
He only had to throw 4 pitches to get the 2 outs.
Well, if you're Seattle, that's who you want up. You want those 2 guys up with the bases loaded.
Scott Servais goes to his bench for the first time. Calls on Jarred Kelenic to bat for Dylan Moore and take over in left field. Ball 1 to Kelenic. It's been a roller coaster season for Kelenic. He looked like all-star and the best all-star back in April. Cooled down. Strikeouts started to go up a little bit more. My goodness, in April he was on everything. Then landed on the injured list. Fractured a bone in his foot, kicking a cooler after a frustrating strikeout here at T-Mobile Park. Hits this on the button. A line drive, base hit. A 2-out single for Kelenic. Former first-round draft pick, all the talent in the world, trying to get it to click for a full season.
Top spin, and Garcia had to play infield after this point. Smother it.
And keeps the 6th inning alive. Here's Ty France. He singled earlier.
Oh! Am I the only one that thinks he's going to be a professional softball player when he's done?
Or the Mike. I thought you were talking about Mike Ford, but you're talking about Mike.
Oh, him too. But I mean, just look at it. He's just set up. Just looks like, you know, after 10, 12 years in the big leagues, he'll be on the launching home runs.
Back Garcia's way. We have seen a lot of this. Some routine fly balls and pop outs. And that is out number 3. France flies to right. Kelenic single is stranded, and his Mariners pitching staff hanging zeros. Kelenic takes over in left field. A pinch hit base hit.
Takes over for Dylan Moore. Josh Young leads off the 7th. Sends it a slider in on his hands. Fouls it away for strike 1. Pizzardo back out there. Mariners have their bullpen up. So do the Rangers. Well, shoes on the other foot today. Mariners shut out the Rangers last night in game 2, 8-0. 5-0 Texas here in the 7th.
I was so intrigued 10 days ago because of the gauntlet schedule that Seattle was facing. You know, Toronto being the benefactor of all three teams that they were playing was going to guarantee somebody losing, and if they just won, they put themselves in a benefit situation. Of course, Seattle had to go through Texas 7 times and Houston.
This is shot to center field out of a cannon. Rodriguez is back. That ball was hit hard, but right to straightaway center field for out number 1. And Julio Rodriguez's personal fan section, the J-Rod squad out there. Lefty Saucedo warming up at the Mariners bullpen. A couple of switch hitters due up next. Bizardo retires all 4 that he faced as well. You've got a pitching change here the 7th. Rangers in front of the Mariners 5-0.
Baseball. Can the Astros repeat? Or will the defending champs be dethroned? The ALDS starts October 7th on the networks of Fox and FS1. Astros in action in the desert. They're continuing their series against the Diamondbacks with Verlander pitching. Taylor Saucedo is up on the mound with 1 out and nobody on here in the 7th.
Sinker slider, or sinker curveball, sorry.
Switch hitting catcher Jonah Heim will bat right-handed. He's had a productive day. He's driven in 3, the most recent on a bases loaded walk.
We'll throw changeups against right-handers.
Two and 0. Talk all the time about the money that the Rangers have spent through free agency, but when they added on to their roster, they did have a nice nucleus of players to add to. Heim has really blossomed into a really good offensive catcher. Nathaniel Lowe was in place. You think about Adolis Garcia as well. And they've got a farm system that's for real also. Rangers aren't going anywhere.
No, and that's why if they can get those studs on the mound healthy, that being one of them for next year, it certainly looks like they can be in a nice window of wins. That's what you hear all the time. It used to drive me crazy. Like, here's our window of opportunity to win. As if.
Well, I got to say, Glavine Maddox and Smoltz made for a pretty large bay window.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was a whole different philosophy back then. And certainly now, you know, you trying to build up your farm system. Because there's so many pieces needed to win now. That's the difference in today with the injury rate that's so high. You need so many pitchers to get you through a season. And you just mentioned the 3 of us. We had the fortunate of pitching in a different era where you could stay healthy. You could pitch innings. You didn't max effort. And it's different now. And the pitchers are way better stuff-wise. Not even close. But staying healthy is a challenge.
For more, down to the field, Kenny.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the Rangers, Aaron, and how their future is bright. We're looking at the Seattle Mariners today, and they're struggling offensively as they have on many occasions this season. In this offseason, they'll be at a crossroads a bit. They're going to need to spend some money on offense. And if they don't do that, they've got the Astros to contend with, they've got the Rangers to contend with. Granted, the Angels are going to be down without Ohtani most likely, and the A's are still rebuilding. But Mariners fans are going to want to see some more offense next year, and it's not a market that has a lot of hitters out there.
It's a very sparse free agent market, and one of those guys who will hit free agency is in the Mariners clubhouse, Teoscar Hernandez. Right fielder and DH. He's a free agent at the end of the year, and in that sparse market, he'll be one of the more sought-after bats. 2 outs for Leody Taveras.
I mean, is it out of the realm of possibilities for Ohtani? He's going to stay on the West Coast.
Sure seems like it, doesn't it?
There's no doubt. He's either going to be a Dodger, San Francisco. I just think it's highly unlikely he stays with the Angels, but he could be with the Angels and then maybe Seattle. I don't think San Diego could afford another monster contract like they've got. He's going to stay on the West Coast, and we'll see what happens. I mean, Ichiro played here for a long time.
Well, Tony's interpreter lives in Seattle during the offseason. He spent some time here outside of just coming here with the Angels.
Two balls and two strikes to Leody Taveras. He calls for time. Taveras with a tremendous arm in center field. He debuted at such a young age and has really started to put it together this year. The 3-2. Popped up. Left side of the infield. J.P. Crawford has had a pretty quiet day defensively. Underneath it. Round number 3. Rangers send the minimum to the plate. We stretch.
Cast is sponsored by Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. And what a big inning it was for the Rangers against Luis Castillo. A 4-run third inning. And the Mariners ace dealt his shortest start in a Mariners uniform. Just 2 2/3 innings. Meanwhile, the Rangers with 2 outs. 5 runs, 5 for 12. 4 walks. All 4 of those runs in that third inning came with 2 outs. And Andrew Heaney pitching into the 5th. Cody Bradford, rookie lefty, comes home with the first pitch strike. His last 2 appearances have actually been starts. Mariners beginning to run out of outs in this one. Bradford making only his 20th big league appearance, 25 years old. Trying to help pitch the Rangers into the postseason.
You know, when you get into these kind of games, these kind of series late in the year, you find out a lot about players you would never have known when the heat's on and the adrenaline's up, and you start figuring some things out about your organization and certain players. I know the world of input and output information thinks everybody's got the same heartbeat and everyone reacts to pressure the same way. They don't. They've never played if they think that's the case. Some guys get more aggressive, some guys get calmer. The moment is always a little bit bigger for those going through it the first time, but a lot of your personality and that kind of heartbeat varies when you got 26 guys on a roster.
Full count. Rojas had a fastball over the plate, fouls it away.
I had someone sitting next to me on a desk say that there's no such thing as clutch. It's a random act that can't be reproduced. And I thought my neck was, I thought I needed a chiropractor right after that, because I whipped around and said, "What did you say?" And he was like, "Yeah, it just can't be reproduced." I said, "Whoa."
Reproduced like from the same player?
Yeah, like there's no such thing as, yeah, like clutch gene or clutchness doesn't exist. And that's when I said to that person, you have never been in a locker room and you have never played in those situations, because that is not an accurate statement. It might be on paper, it's just not accurate in sports when you have so many factors that come into play.
The 3-2. Big chopper finds Lowe at first base. He'll take himself to the bag for out number 1. This Rangers bullpen just continuing to get outs. That brings up Sam Haggerty. Top of the order is due up next for the Mariners. Bochy has his best reliever, his hottest reliever, maybe the best way to put it. Jose Leclerc beginning to warm up. Called a strike. Now Leclerc has really been good for a bullpen that has been so battered and beat up. Leclerc has been a rock recently. Boy, did that slider ever tie up Haggerty? 0-2.
Well, this team is so dangerous offensively. We've already documented that, and that's where their strength's going to have to be if they are to continue deep into the playoffs. They're going to have to cover some of the shortcomings by making their offense just be that much more difficult to get out. Score obviously a lot of runs.
Yeah, the question is how will that play in October?
Right.
And for as phenomenal of a lineup as the Rangers have, and it is one of the very best, there's no question, how will it deal with October pitching?
Well, the good news is if they were to win the division, they get the 3 games at home, which is a big plus. It's not a guarantee, but 3 games at home. The other team's going to have to win 2 of those, of course, to win to move on. It's that second series that would really be the telltale sign.
Strikeout there of Haggerty. 2 up and 2 down for the rookie.
That's just a great changeup. Ball just drops off the table.
Two outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th. Here's J.P. Crawford. A couple of base hits in this one.
You know what, though? It's the first time in my memory that I can remember. You know, there's going to be some teams that had some great records, and of course the Dodgers, the Braves, the Orioles, and the Rays are the 4 best records. But every single one of those teams have issues going into the postseason. They have some things that are going to cause concern. The Braves, of course, historic offense, similar to the Rangers. They've got a beat-up pitching staff. The Dodgers have a beat-up pitching staff. The Royals lost their closer. And so when you see this playoffs kind of unfold, there is not going to be an easy track for any of them as a favor. The scary teams already talked about, like the Philadelphia Phillies, what they did last year. They're in prime position to kind of make another run. They're loaded with every kind of aspect that you want to have for a deep run.
0-2 on Crawford.
But the defending champs, the Houston Astros, are not in yet, and they've got some issues in their starting rotation that they weren't used to.
Absolutely. They've been stung by injury in their starting 5 as well. The 0-2.
The team that's been a mystery for me in the American League, because their pitching has been so good and so much expected from their offense, has been the Blue Jays.
Oh, it's been a reversal of personalities for the Blue Jays this year.
It really has, and some guys haven't lived up to some of the potential that's caused their offense and really the position they're in.
Fouled away, still 0-2 on Crawford. Now, where have the home runs gone in Toronto? Year in and year out.
Yeah.
They've been one of the great matching units in all of baseball, and this year it's been a team really headlined by a starting rotation. And their bullpen hasn't been this good in a long while. The 0-2. Of course, Blue Jays fortifying their bullpen with the trade with the Mariners and giving up some home runs, sending Teoscar Hernandez to Seattle, getting Eric Swanson with that great splitter to be a part of their bullpen. Heim gets rid of the mask on the warning track, and it's a clean 1-2-3 inning for the rookie Cody Bradford. Now the Mariners have been shut out on their home field in front of a sold-out crowd. Rangers in control after 7. The 2023 MLB postseason begins Tuesday with the wild card rounds on ABC and ESPN. The next Saturday, it's the start of the ALDS, only on Fox and FS1. Scott Servais going to one of his best relievers, Andres Munoz, to pitch in the 8th. 9-1-2. He wants to make sure the Munoz will face Semien and Seager due up next. Munoz has spent some time on the injured list this year. Typically works the ninth. Tonight pitching in the 8th. Evan Carter leading things off for the Rangers. The big inning, the 4-run third. All 4 runs coming with 2 outs.
Yeah, so uncharacteristic from Luis Castillo, and just how it unfolded will just it drives you crazy as a pitcher. You look back, you go, that wasn't a bad pitch, that wasn't a bad pitch, and that was off the end of the bat. But leadoff walk and then the infield hit. Even if they only give up 1 or 2, it's a much different game, obviously. But those 4 broke it open.
Top of the order on deck, Semien.
Offside.
And unfortunately for Seattle, as a leadoff man reaches Carter on the walk. When you look at what Luis Castillo did last year for the Mariners, he was so enormous in helping them break that 20-year playoff drought. He was the big fish on the trade market coming up on the deadline. The Mariners acquired Castillo. They signed him to an extension. He pitched in the postseason to a very high level for the Mariners, but you look at his last 2 starts now when the Mariners really needed it, and it's been tough. 4 runs over 2 2/3 today, and his last start 5 runs over 6 against the Astros, and what was a series loss. Here is Semien to the man aboard. And you would think that in a 5-0 game that Semien and Seager would have their fingerprints all over this one. They've each scored a run, but the productions come further down in the order. This is lined into left field. It sends Kelenic chasing after it. Carter is being waved in. This is to the base of the wall, and a bonus run in the 8th inning for the Rangers. 6-0 as Semien scorched it. He drives in his first run today, extending the Texas lead.
Yeah, a little revenge for Semien. He hit a bullet with the bases loaded in that inning where Moore made an incredible play. This is his revenge swing. So good on fastball, so good on the inner part of the plate, and this ball's rocketed, and it splits the 2 outfield of the Mariners, and Carter picking them up, putting them down, easily scores.
His second career 100 ribby season now. Here's Seager. That was a close pitch on a slider, rule of ball. So Semien a home run shy of a 30-100 season. Kelenic in left field. Remarkably, especially when you look at the score, that was the first extra base hit by the Rangers today.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to look back at the score, and they may not win. The Mariners, they're going to look back and you say, well, this typical Rangers. They hit their way into the playoff spot, but it really has been kind of the perfect storm. Walks, infield hits, just nothing. No rockets till a couple by Semien. And that's what happens when you're up against it and you can't have any room for error, and that's where the Mariners were, unfortunately. They had to play another perfect game and create some chaos and hope that they got some help along the way just to get in.
101 misses. Now the Marlins, it's a final in Pittsburgh. They take down the Pirates, and the Marlins will be playing in October. Now the National League playoff picture is even more convoluted than what's going on in the American League. Taking on the Brewers.
That breaks a long streak. I know they got in the COVID World Series, but in 162 games, it's been a while since the Marlins have gotten into the postseason.
Called a strike. Just a touch off the plate.
I think that's when they played the Yankees last time. Was that 2003? Something like that.
One out, a runner at second base. Swing and a miss, and Grossman is down on strikes to go down to the field again.
Guys, the Marlins are just a remarkable story. They've been without Sandy Alcantara and Yuri Perez, their two best pitchers of late. And they're a bottom 5 offensive team. And yet here they are going to the postseason. They had that crazy week in New York with the postponements and the suspended game. But they got there. Skip Schumacher, their first-year manager, strong candidate for National League Manager of the Year.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And yes, John, 2003 when they won the World Series, the last time they got in other than the COVID season. 2 outs and a man at second. Here is Adolis Garcia. Garcia's been aboard twice in this one. If the Rangers win, if they hold out of this one, they will clinch a postseason berth.
Next inning, I want to get your opinion on something because you can't do it here.
You're very aware. Great field, John. Court awareness.
And maybe even Kenny's opinion too as we dive into this.
Hopefully we'll have time.
Well, we'll have time next inning.
It's a 1-2.
And I'll tease it by it has to do with Manager of the Year.
Oh. Well, nobody's going anywhere now.
They shouldn't. It's riveting.
2 outs, the 1-2. Overthrows it way outside. Mariners will have the big bats coming up. So far, this Rangers bullpen has been up to the task.
Could have already done it.
Now, if he reaches, do you think he'll pivot and change course?
I may broach the subject to give people time to think about it. So if he reaches, I'll throw that question out there.
2 outs. 3-2. It'll have to wait. Munoz strikes out Garcia. The Rangers tack on another run, however. Mariners are running out of time. Rodriguez, Suarez, Cal Raleigh all due up. Off for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Broke onto the scenes last year. Rookie of the Year, first player in baseball history to go 25-25 his first 2 years. Had his best month in the big leagues in August. He was the American League Player of the Month. As he takes inside for ball 1. And look where he ranks right now as a 22-year-old, second in the league in hits, third in ribbies and stolen bases, fifth in extra base hits.
Well, they need him to get on base desperately here to lead off this inning. A little bit surprised. We thought maybe we'd see the right-hander for the Rangers come in, but they're sticking with the rookie.
Yeah, rookie lefty Cody Bradford. Jose Leclerc was warming earlier. I thought for sure Bochy would go to his best reliever right now to face the teeth of the order.
So here's the question I want to pose, okay? And I understand how it works. So this is going to come across maybe as I'm being biased when I don't think the best teams that have in baseball with their managers ever win. Oh, a real expansion of the strike zone as Bradford is able to get Rodriguez to chase into the other batter's box. There's out number 1.
You're not going to see a swing this bad in a while where it's way out there and he had already committed, couldn't stop. But here's my quick point. There's no doubt Skip Schumacher has done a great job with the Marlins, and managers of the year usually are won when there isn't much expected of your team. But if I threw out 2 scenarios, which I know it's not going to happen, but Brian Snitker, if I told you they were going to use 17 starting pitchers and have the best league record in baseball, but he won't get enough credit and probably won't win Manager of the Year. Same thing with Dave Roberts, because you got two teams that win. I think it's sometimes harder to win when you're expected to win and then exceed that than the other. And I would ask you, what's your take on that award always going to the lowest expectation to the most reward?
Well, I do think it's a very difficult award to win when somebody thinks you're going to go to the World Series.
Right.
It's almost impossible. Maybe it's not a great award. Out to left field. It is gone. And the Mariners get their first run in the bottom of the 8th inning. They got a ways to go. But Eugenio Suarez, his 22nd this year, gives the Mariners a little jolt of life. Bochy's stuck with the rookie lefty, and Suarez tags him deep.
The ball was hit out of here in a hurry.
One out for Cal Raleigh. Back to the Suarez home run.
Try to go inside, and most home runs are going to be right there. Most of the home runs in the big leagues, when they're hit over 100 and some miles an hour, you can put them in a coffee can and show that replay. It's a mistake pitch. That's why they hit it so hard. .109 off the bat for Suarez.
2 balls and a strike to the Mariners catcher. This is a high fly ball. Does it have the distance? It's on the track and coming in on the grass. Carter, round number 2, down to Ken. Ken, what are your thoughts on this real mind bender from John?
Well, John makes a great point, and an executive once said to me, you guys, the writers, set the expectations before the season starts. And the manager who proves you guys wrong by exceeding your expectations, he's the Manager of the Year. That is a fair criticism. And you're right, John. Snitker, Dave Roberts, those guys don't get the proper recognition they deserve at times, because the award generally goes to someone who exceeds his team's expectations.
Now spot on. Here comes Leclerc. He will face Teoscar Hernandez. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Gorgeous fall day here in the Northwest. Both teams trying to get into the dance. And the Rangers looking a lot better right now. They have gone to their best bullpen arm these days. That is Jose Leclerc. His last 7 games, he's spun 7 1/3 scoreless. He can rush it home, but he starts off Teoscar Hernandez with the first pitch slider.
Got better as the year's gone on. Didn't start the year off too well injury wise, and now he's got that electric fastball and a good slider.
Popped up low on the warning track for a very quick out. Number 3. Leclerc with 2 pitches retires Teoscar Hernandez, who was just left standing there after 8. Rangers in front. Rangers holding a commanding 6-1 lead as we move to the top of the 9th inning. Justin Topa, the sinker baller, is on to pitch for the Mariners.
The Mariners still have a heartbeat, even if they can't win this game. It's a tight game going on in Arizona. Currently 2nd and 3rd, 1 out for the Diamondbacks against Houston. They would need real help if they don't come back to win this game.
Now, there's no question, if the Rangers hold on and win this, they will clinch a postseason berth. Meanwhile, the Mariners need some serious help. If the Mariners
lose this game. If the Rangers win this game, that's what it looks like in Arizona. Astros leading 1-0. The Mariners would need the Diamondbacks to come from behind, win today. They would also need the Diamondbacks to win tomorrow. And as important, the Mariners would need to win tomorrow. So both these teams will be keeping a close eye on that game in Arizona once this one's over with, because that could impact both these clubs. Lowe shoots this down the left field line. Count it, closing on it. Lays at it to the base of the wall. Extra bases now for Lowe. He's making the turn and headed for third. An aggressive play by Kelenic. Does not pay off for the Mariners. Works out for Texas, and Lowe is at third base right away.
Well, he dives for this play in a do or die, and I thought he could have had a little more urgency going to chase the ball afterwards, but that effort and combined with where the ball went allowed the Rangers to get a triple.
Young called a strike.
Well, in real time, you think, I got it, I'm going to dive and get it. But then right there, just kind of conceding that it might be a triple when I thought who's running would be a double.
Young jam, fouls it back, 0-2. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks have loaded the bases in the 7th inning against the Astros. Astros leading still 1-0.
No.
He does not go. If this game holds and ends the way it looks right now, or something similar to it, both teams are rooting hard for an Astros loss.
Yeah.
Because the only way the Mariners would stay alive, step one, would be an Astros loss tonight, and the Rangers would clinch the division. Strike three caught. He dots him up.
Well, that's what's so crazy so far about this season, right? No one thought that the Kansas City Royals were going to go in and sweep the Houston Astros at home. It's exactly what they did, put Houston in this predicament.
Infield remains drawn in for Jonah Heim. Lowe at third, the leadoff triple. Broken bat, weak ground ball. Crawford has it. Two outs. Infield can move back now. Here is Taveras. Now the Rangers had really handled the Mariners this year. They had won 8 of the first 9 games against Seattle this season, and they had swept the Mariners in both series in Arlington, including just recently. When the Rangers came to town on Thursday to begin this 4-game series, they were thinking that maybe some of that would carry over and they could win one of those first 2 games, and if they did that, they would have clinched a spot in the postseason, but they have lost the first 2. Mariners walked them off in game 1 on Thursday, and last night the Mariners shut them out 8-0. But it's been basically all Rangers in this one today. Crawford, of course, the walk-off base hit and a grand slam yesterday.
And coming into this, the last 3 years, the Seattle Mariners have dominated the Rangers. It's a total flip.
And what a different team the Rangers are this year. Two and two.
Full count. Strike three called. Enter edge. And that triple is stranded. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's the last call for the Mariners tonight. Jarred Kelenic will lead things off. Mariners down to their final 3 outs. Pretty quiet in this one today. The Rangers have been in command since the 3rd inning, and the Mariners now down to their final 3 outs. Meanwhile, the Rangers 3 outs away from punching their ticket to October. Leclerc, 97 on the black for strike 1. Kelenic leading things off for the Mariners. Now Bruce Bochy, how would he manage this game? What would that bullpen look like? 3 2/3, just 2 hits, only 1 run. On a night where Mariners hitters really haven't struck out that much at all. Just 4 strikeouts for Mariners batters. That's typically the Achilles heel. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase off the plate. 1 out.
Oh, what a great pitch here. A changeup on the outside part of the plate, just perfectly located. As we walked into this stadium, you could feel the tension. Like Texas had a magic number 1, and then you start thinking, well, how can they not make it when those 2 games were played and you're here in game 3?
Oh, 97 up by the helmet. France gets out of the way. Nobody gets hit more than Ty France. He has once again this year broken his own single season franchise record for hit by pitches. That was a close shave. .98 just up out of the zone. It was a 4-run 3rd inning where the Rangers sent 9 to the plate. They scored all 4 runs with 2 outs. No Aroldis Chapman for the Rangers. He has really had his struggles. Leclerc has been the guy. Final 3 outs in his hands. The 1-2. Ground ball finds Semien. 2 outs.
Again, these are the moments you're waiting to take part in. If you're the Texas Rangers leaving spring training, you know you got a good ball club. You don't know how the road's going to lead you to the end where you can go out and celebrate the first accomplishment of hopefully 4. You're 1 out away from doing part 1.
Rojas takes a pitch on the corner for strike 1. All the momentum the first 2 games the way of the Mariners, and today it's been all Rangers.
Ball out.
Rangers were so much of the season in first place in the West. The 1-1. They have a chance to win the division with a win tonight and an Astros loss. But a win this evening, no matter what happens in Arizona, will secure their play in October. And the trickle-down effect from today as well. If the Rangers win this game, the Blue Jays will clinch, and they can save Gausman, who is in line to pitch tomorrow.
It's huge, too, because the best thing Major League Baseball did is tomorrow everyone will be playing at the same time.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Leclerc gets the final out. This Rangers bullpen up to the task.
And for the first time since 2016, the Texas Rangers will play in October. The Rangers secure their 9th ever postseason berth. And a team that had such great expectations. An offense that is second to hardly none. Comes to Seattle, their magic number to 1. And it wasn't just the offense today, John. It was the pitching as well.
No, they did all the little things. It wasn't the prototypical slug their way and just hits all over the ballpark. They just had timely hits. They took their walks. They battled. I don't know how many foul balls they hit. It seems like 30, and it knocked out the stud for the Mariners. And I think, look, the Texas, they're battle tested. They got a great manager. They've been the up and the down and the injuries, and now they're hoping they can right the ship, and wherever they sit, whether it's the division or the wild card, they know they're in the playoffs.
Year 2 for Marcus Semien in Arlington.
Adolis Garcia, a guy at one point DFA'd, an all-star this year for the 2nd time. Year 2 for Corey Seager in Rangers blue. And of course, a manager that has seen it all. A surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, trying to take one last ride into October with this Rangers team with big hopes. With that 27th out, the Rangers punch their ticket. The Blue Jays punch their ticket as well. And hope fading fast for the Mariners. Their only way in is now for the Astros to lose today and tomorrow, and for the Mariners to win tomorrow.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, depending, obviously, if let's say Houston wins, you know that the Mariners are out, and then the Rangers have to put all their resources in to win the division, right?
Houston lost this evening. They're late in that game in Arizona, and the Rangers will clinch the division. This is a Rangers team that held first place for so much of this year, and then things started to slip away. They held first place for 148 of the season's first 149 days. And now they're on the brink of a division win. In the wild card, Mariners now a game and a half back, and firmly relying on the Astros to lose today and tomorrow. Now the Mariners needing to win tomorrow. Down to the field to Ken.
Corey, congratulations.
Thank you.
After the last 2 days, the 2 losses here, how much of a relief is it just to get in?
You know, we were never thinking about it. You know, we knew what we needed to do to get in, and we did it. So that's all that really matters right now.
You guys were pretty restrained out there in your celebration. Is the focus still the division?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're going to celebrate tonight because coming from a 100-loss season, you know, this is a pretty special moment for us, but there's still more to come.
You mentioned the 100-loss season, and you had a new manager this year, Bruce Bochy. Corey, how much of a difference did he make?
Yeah, you know, it just speaks to the resilience of this whole team, organization, front office, owners. You know, it's been a long way. CY's done a hell of a job of going out and getting guys that we need, and this clubhouse has done a hell of a job of competing all year. And same thing with Ray, you know, to be able to go out and spend some money and get the guys that we needed in here, and this is what the reward is.
You've won a World Series, you know what it takes. What does this team need to do?
Just continue to play good baseball still. You know, that's all that matters. Coming down in the wire, it's all about winning series. We've talked about it all year. Just win the next series and win the next series.
Corey, congrats again.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Back to you, Aaron.
Ken, thank you so much. Rangers win today, and they have secured a position in the postseason for the first time since 2016. We'll be right back to Seattle with more right after these messages.
couple of nights ago, the Rangers had the tarping up and they had to take it down when the Mariners walked them off on Thursday night. But not the case this evening. Their magic number down to 1. The Rangers win it, and they are going back to October.
This never gets old, and every team that gets to experience it, nothing's for sure. You never take it for granted.
Rangers win convincingly today, 6-1 the final. And they still have a chance to win the division depending on what happens in Arizona. Fox and FS1 are your home for the American League Divisional Series, and the league's biggest stars take center stage on the road to the Fall Classic. It all starts next Saturday on Fox and FS1. Well, they will enjoy that celebration while watching the final couple of innings in the desert, where the Astros lead 1-0. Rangers win this one 6-1. They're going back to the postseason for the first time since 2016. For the Hall of Famer John Smoltz, for Ken Rosenthal, I'm Aaron Goldsmith. Our entire Fox Sports crew saying goodnight from Seattle.